The House passed a landmark crypto bill months ahead of the U.S. presidential election that still needs to make its way through the Senate. For more on the current regulatory environment in the markets on crypto, we want to bring in Commodities Future Trading Commission Chairman Rostin Behnam. And Russ, it's great to see you today.
Good to see you too, Becky.
So we have a lot to talk through. Why don't we start with crypto, because I think this has been one that has caught so much attention and looks like it is going to make some progress in Washington, too. I thought when I first saw this, when I first read it, that this was a bill you'd be happy about, because it looks to me like it gives more power to the CFTC in terms of oversight of what happens with crypto. This is not a bill you're recommending. Why?
Well, I haven't actually taken a position on it for or against. Worked with members of Congress on the House side. There are elements of it that certainly impact the CFTC. There are elements of it that impact the SEC. I've largely weighed in on the CFTC side. And as we've discussed in the years past, and I've said publicly, this is about filling a gap in regulation, and that bill largely accomplishes that goal on the CFTC side, giving us regulatory powers to register exchanges, custodians, broker-dealers, intermediaries, and bring some transparency to this particular side of the market that involves commodity tokens themselves.
So you are in favor of it?
I'm supportive of moving forward with legislation to fill the gap. There are some issues that I raised with members of Congress about the bill, but as you said, it's just one step. Senate still has to take up the bill. The White House has weighed in and says it wants to work with Congress to fill the gap and further support both innovation, which, sort of outside of my purview, but understanding that there's gaps in regulation and customer protection issues.
But you're in favor of the idea that it does give power over the cryptocurrencies themselves to the CFTC?
100%, and I've said that all along. We have, as defined by current law, we have commodity tokens, we have security tokens, and what we've experienced at the CFTC now for over a decade is this gap in regulation where we don't have tools to regulate the market, and it's leaving a pretty significant chunk of the market unregulated. So when you look at commodity tokens like Bitcoin and Ether, you're talking about 60% in the entire market cap of the crypto market. And with that in mind, I think we have a serious issue in terms of filling that gap, and this is what this legislation sort of achieves.
What are your problems with the legislation?
There's some areas that I'd like to deal with, specifically funding for the CFTC. There's some issues around institutional investors, how we transition from legislation passing to writing the rules and having folks come into compliance. So I wouldn't say anything major per se, but there are things that would need to be addressed in the next step.
Is part of that you think you should be getting more funding? Because the knock on it has been that the CFTC does not have nearly the oversight structure that the SEC does, and taking on crypto and being the full-time cop on the beat for that might require more funding for more enforcement to be set up.
I think that's a pretty sort of rational conclusion. If Congress is going to give us more authority or more tools or a bigger mandate, we're going to need more resources. This, is similar with any issue that Congress takes with respect to the executive branch. Whether it was after the financial crisis and Dodd-Frank passed, these agencies need more money. We're going to need more personnel. We're going to need more hardware, software. We're going to need more expertise in this space so that we can build up that regulatory structure.
That was kind of the knock from critics, though, that they chose the CFTC because they wanted a lighter touch when it comes to this.
I take serious issue with this light touch narrative. It's just false. And if you really dig into our regulatory structure, and if you talk to any of our registrants, I think they'll say exactly the opposite. Our enforcement record speaks for itself. Our regulatory structure is very specific and prescriptive in parts. And we've been probably the toughest cop on the beat in the crypto space going back to 2014. Half of our enforcement docket last fiscal year, was crypto. So the light touch is a little bit of a political narrative, I think, in Washington. This is about filling a gap. We have this structure where you have two market regulators. You have a legal framework that defines tokens as securities and commodities. And as I've been saying for years, as the Financial Stability Oversight Council has said as well, there's a gap for non-security tokens. So I'm just out there making sure that folks understand what the risks are and that we need to fill this gap.
What kind of pressure did you feel from your overlords? Or do you have overlords? Are you totally independent? Here's where I'm going with this. I can't understand sometimes Gary Gensler. He knows about crypto. He was at MIT. I wouldn't say he was 180, but he certainly got. It seemed like he changed a little bit on what he thought about Bitcoin, what he thought about crypto in general. And then you look at certain individuals, Senator Elizabeth Warren, take your pick, on maybe on either side of the aisle, I guess. It seems like more on the left are against crypto. And it even, Russ, I dare say, some of the bad actors, it wasn't about crypto itself. If you had a more open mind about crypto, you could have had maybe some regulations or legislations that prevented the bad actors. But because he had this default that all crypto was bad in the first place, where did that come from? Did that come from the administration? Did you hear similar things?
No, I mean, look, I can't speak for what others in the administration are saying or thinking, but, you take these jobs, you have huge responsibility. You have a lens into markets that very few people do, right? Whether it's traditional derivatives, physical commodities, financial futures. Do
you agree with Gensler's view
no,
of Bitcoin? You have the same lens. Do you agree with it?
My opinion should not be driven by what I think or what I like or what I dislike. It's what my responsibility is as a regulator and what we observe in markets. So, again, we have this legal framework that defines commodities a certain way. We have these tokens that, the way they're constructed, fall within the commodity definition of the existing law. And we've seen these markets emerge. They've grown, they've scaled, they've gone up and down, but we've seen sustained interest by retail investors. We've seen sustained interest by institutional investors. Right. And right now, unfortunately, we've seen sustained enforcement actions. And that's my problem, right? My number one responsibility is to protect investors, to protect the American economy. And when we see continued manipulation and fraud in this market, when half of my enforcement docket is crypto in an area that I don't have traditional regulatory tools, that is, in my mind, a huge red flag and something that I need to speak up, and I engage with Congress. You use the phrase overlords. I have authorizing committees in the House and the Senate. I have appropriators in the House and the Senate. I have to report to them. I have to tell them what I'm seeing. I have to tell them what I need from a budget perspective, and I have to tell them what my recommendation to them is regarding writing law and where the law needs to be changed.
We all have overlords.
We all have overlords.